Wow, where do we even begin? The fact that the match even ended 2-1 is beyond me. And the fact that this is going to be my first video on the channel and it comes out of Madrid loss is also very disappointing. But for those of you that are new here, welcome to my channel, MBS Mohammed bin Sports. And not to get it confused for the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. So remember that. And yeah, where do we even begin? Over the weekend, Madrid losing to Mallorca in a crucial La Liga battle with Barcelona. And at the weekend, Bayern, they end up winning their match coming from a 2-0 deficit. And the signs were here to come. Right from the get go, Bayern were pressing Madrid, and they even had a chance early on, coming at with Upamecano. A beautiful ball into the box, laid off by Harry Kane. And all Upamecano needed to do was stay composed and get a touch onto it. But I feel like the Bernabeu just a rush of vein went into him, and he just ended up missing the shot completely and scuffs it. And then from then on, there, Bayern just kept on knocking onto the door. And then, and then from Lunin, a simple pass to Pitarch, and we saw this in the City game. The same pass happened from Courtois to Pitarch, and it's a loose touch, and then a shot ends up occurring right away, and Courtois saves it. And similarly today against Bayern, Pitarch ends up getting the ball from Lunin inside the 18-yard box, and a loose touch, and Gnabry is on it. And to be honest, maybe Gnabry should have scored that. He shot directly at Lunin, but there we let it be. And then next, right after that, Mbappe had a chance. From the breakaway, a counter attack at Madrid, a ball slipped through the lines, right in between Stanisic or Limer at the time, I believe. And Mbappe goes into the box. At first, I felt like he could have taken the shot one touch after he placed it, but then it went a little bit wide, and he had to set his feet, which kind of tightened the angle, so it was hard for him to score. But still, a beautiful save by Neuer, nonetheless. And right back, just the pressing kept on happening. Chances for Bayern kept on falling. And just as we were so close to the halftime whistle, Bayern strikes. A loose ball from Vinny attempting to pass. I don't know where he attempted to pass to, but it was a very poor pass and ended up getting intercepted. And from then on there, 1-2 touch tiki taka from Bayern, which we seem to see that when they play like this, they can get past any team, and they just cut through us to the midfield. The ball ends up leading to Gnabry, an easy through pass for Luis Diaz, and he just slots it home. And at this point, I'm already annoyed that we ended up conceding a goal before halftime, and I'm thinking to myself, Arbeloa has got to change something. Over the weekend, we've seen the youngster Pitarch play a lot, and it's just I don't know what he sees in him that I don't, but I feel like he's just like 5% of Valverde. Yes, we do need the pressing because we're just gonna stay more into our shape, try to defend more, cover for our fullbacks. But I don't believe he's just ready to start these games week in and week out. And we need more quality in these positions. And I'm quite saddened to the fact that we have to even branch out to our academy to even bail us out in games or even play as much as he's due when he shouldn't have to. It should be a developing stage for him. And the fact that he's playing week in and week out, maybe it says something about the other players in our squad. And don't worry, I'm not just going to get on to Fitarch. There's other players as well that I'm coming after in this video. We'll just wait for that near the end of the video. Now, once the break is over, second half starts. And right away, Bayern picked off where they last left off. Olise picking up the ball and playing a beautiful pass to Harry Kane, who slots it home. But upon replay, you see that Lunin gets the slightest of touches. Could he have saved that? I believe if Kane didn't use Rudiger as a shield, he might have saved that. But that's still the fine margins of where, the likes of Courtois would have been able to save that rather than Lunin. But we move on. We move on. Once that second goal came in, Madrid finally wanted to play. They finally wanted to play for the badge. And we ended up having a lot of chances. And a chance that came from the man that almost made a chance in the 8th minute, Upamecano. A beautiful ball out to Vinny in the air. Upamecano tries to head it back to his keeper, but he gets a minuscule of touches, and Vinny is on there. He grabs it, fake shots Neuer wants, tries to drag him out wide, but Neuer does a brilliant job of closing down an angle, and Vinny just sides nets it. And speaking on Vinny, even in the first half, he had about 1 to 2 chances where from distance, but I feel like he still could have done better and actually his slotted his meal home, as we expected from Vinny. But Neuer today was absolutely sensational. Coming from the missed chances from Vinny, Mbappe had about 2 or 3 chances himself that I feel like he could have buried. One shot coming from a link up play 1-2 with Vinny and Mbappe, and all he had to do was just pick a place, bottom right hand corner, or just bury it, or just power it through the net. And he didn't choose neither and ended up going out wide. And another chance that he did have was, not per se one on one with Nori, but it's still a very, very good shot. And it was a very well saved shot by Nori once again. Once the subs came on, Bellingham, Raheem, and Rudiger, you felt the Bernabeu change. The subs, they made an impact, and I wanted them to come on earlier, directly at halftime instead of waiting until Kane scores a goal, Bayern lead up. But from then on there, we started making our statement in the game and actually hitting Bayern on the fast break and actually letting them know whose stadium that they're at, Madrid. And once that started happening, we started getting lots of chances from Jude, ball carrying, from Militao. And Militao, too, I believe we should give him his flowers. The chance that he stopped near the end of the game, where it was just a 3v2 and a slide tackle to stop Bayern from scoring. Whew, we owe him a lot right there. But after chances, we finally get our breakthrough. Trent with a beautiful ball down the line to Mbappe, who rushes in the box and gets a striker's finish, which is very rare for him. I feel like for the most part, Madrid fans is always asking Mbappe, just get in the box. Get those ugly goals instead of hanging out wide. Do your striker's job. And he did his job today, and he grabbed his goal. Beautifully finished. Can we see that more of you, Mbappe, please? Because otherwise, instead of these 40 goals you had, maybe you have 60. Maybe you had 70. You might even break Messi's record of 91 goals because you just play your position and get into the box. But once that chance had went in, you could feel the tension in the Bernabeu. You could feel the fans roaring out for this team. You can feel Madrid pouncing, getting more chances and more chances. And at times, they could have scored some even more goals to take this game into 3-2, maybe 4-2. And at the end of the day, Vinny and Mbappe, they should have each grabbed at least a brace, in my opinion, or at least Vinny just one, Mbappe 2-3. On a good day, the guys would have scored that. But from then, Bayern, they were looking shaky. Like we could get at them. They were looking very shaky. And for parts of the game, I thought we had them. But I think we need to talk about one man only, and that is Michael Olise. For those guys who don't know who Michael Olise is, he just made a statement in the game today. That was a 10 out of 10 performance from right winger, and it's very Robin-esque. The way he cut in, cut out. At times you think you knew you were doing, but he just kept on going and going, and you couldn't do nothing about it. He was the man of the match today for me. Some sources they show Neuer has gone the man of the match. He does deserve it too, but this was the Michael Olise show. And Carreras, this will probably be the most embarrassing and toughest night he will ever have in a Madrid jersey. The way Olise kept on toying with him and toying with the Madrid defenders was unspeakable. How he walked away with a 5.9, I'm not even sure, and how he didn't even get subbed off is another alarming situation for me. Because the past few games, Frank Garcia, although we don't really praise him for his defensive capabilities, he would have done for sure done better than when Alvaro Carreras was playing. And if I'm Florentino Perez, similar to how Ronaldo was on Sporting and played Manchester United, you're not leaving the stadium without getting signed. This is a player, is possibly one of the best right wingers in the world, bar Lamine, but also one of the most realistic that we could sign. Now, if I'm Perez, Olise, you're not leaving the stadium. I promise you that. We need to get this man on our roster no matter what. Near the death of the game, Musiala grabbing a late chance to, to make it 3-1 against Madrid. Maybe if he didn't have that injury scare from Donnarumma way back, I think he goes into that 100% and takes it. And also Luis Diaz on the fast break as well is with a counter attack with Olise. Misplaces the pass behind Olise, and from then on there, I believe that's where the game had ended. And overall, this wasn't a vintage Madrid performance. This was very terrible, and yeah, although we did have our chances, it's gonna be tough going to Germany in their stadium, and it's gonna be even tough without having our DM Chouameni, picking up that yellow card, so he's ruled out for the next game. And I'm intrigued to see what Arbeloa does with this midfield because I don't want to see Petard starting next game, especially what he's done today. And I don't want to see Carrera start either, but I'm not sure if he believes in Garcia and the midfield today. I just feel like they were everywhere. They were getting cut apart for the most part. Olise and Bayern just they found it very easy to just play against us, and that's worrying. And especially now that Chouameni is not going to be playing, maybe we could see a midfield of Valverde, Kamavinga, Jude, and Arda. But I'm not sure because of late, Pitarch has been his guy, and I hope he doesn't stick by that whatsoever. But the game ends 2-1, and Bayern feel hard done by that they couldn't make it more 3-1, 4-1, or even 5-1. And we'll see you next time at the Allianz Arena. And yeah, so for those of you that are new to my channel and like what you see, drop a like and a subscribe. And until next time, I love Madrid.